Get all these engineers back there.
You're on.
Yapping. All right, we're gonna stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this is the portion of the meeting that if you're not on the agenda, you have something, you can bring it up. We can't act on it, but we'll discuss it and discuss it at a later meeting. So does anybody got anything that's not on the agenda? All right, John. Good seeing you again, huh?
Got your little something here. Shall be brief. It's not my strong suit though.
We got a bet tonight how long this meeting's gonna last, so. I don't know who's talked to you before the meeting.
Alright, yeah, good to be here. It's been busy. I'll just start off with a kind of a quick high level kind of expectation setting. I always say our primary functions are around attraction, retention, and expansion. So new investment coming in, existing investment here, making sure we remove barriers or accelerate growth. That's pretty oversimplified, so there's a little chart there, and I think as you'll see through some of the updates, we take a multi-pronged approach to that through small business revolving loan fund, community engagement, business programming, out of market marketing. So I'll just hit some of the high notes as we go through here. So second page, you'll see the team. Obviously, it's not just me having all the updates that I'm going to have here. So just important to note that we've got a 5-person team here that really takes on the body of work, and that includes that business retention expansion, the attraction, the small business consulting, and the loan fund program. And then also embedded into our work is the Metro Manufacturing Alliance, which again, I'll give a little small update as we go through here as well. So they're sticking on the bottom of page 2. You'll see that in the first, roughly, this is through July, we've had 50 new projects that our team has managed that we opened up as an official kind of project and have either responded to an RFI or had some degree of follow-up because they have indicated that they're in what we would call kind of growth mode or looking to invest or expand. We've had 15 business retention expansion visits in Scott County through July, and I would just note those aren't just coffees; those are meetings because we are kind of assessing the kind of strength of their operations and seeing how we can again either go in and remove a barrier or accelerate their growth. Some project highlights that I'll note, and again, particularly on the expansions, I won't go into too much detail because that can be a tell. But I would just note with Project Fireworks, very optimistic about coming to some resolution on that project here in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Once at full operation, this project or this company would move up to roughly the top 3 or 4 companies in terms of employment size in the county. So really excited about their potential expansion. Project Takeout is going to be a long-term game. They're just looking at kind of their national strategic growth option, but glad to say that Scott County is in the conversation there. The other 3 are attraction projects, so I always say those are top of the funnel. A lot of times those come in as RFIs, almost like responding to a grant. A lot of different kind of data points from utility to taxation and different infrastructure requests. The one I'll highlight is Project Hub. Hub was in last week. This is an international company. Looking at a $170 to $120 million capital investment to create a distribution hub and showroom for their brand, but always a good indication when they come in and kick dirt. So we had them in last week in Scott County.
Good deal.
Community marketing, top of the next page. How do we get these leads? Where do they come from? Particularly on the attraction side, obviously the retention side, it's just from relationships and working in the community. On the community marketing side, this is both kind of, we call it inbound and outbound. So inbound is just about making sure that our community knows about assets and opportunities throughout the region. On June 27th, we were excited to have representation from Scottsburg, Austin, and the county at our Economic Development Council meeting. That council is representative of our advisory board that really governs the economic development arm of One Southern Indiana. So excited to have that at DCE's new headquarters and have a great presentation. Appreciate Commissioner Prince there spending some time with us. Some of the outbound stuff, I did receive a Hoosier Energy Scholarship, so thank you to our energy partners there. Select USA is a cool conference in Washington, D.C., where the country as a whole, it's state-sponsored. They welcome foreign direct investment, interested parties to come to the U.S. And meet and discuss on how to initiate investments in the U.S. So the state of Indiana had a booth there at that. The governor was out working the showroom floor, and I would say not many governors were out doing that. So just a strong sign from the state to local level, kind of working in partnership to recruit investment. A couple other notable things we did August 7th through the 9th. We hosted 10 national site consultants in market in partnership with GLI and the Greater Louisville Regional Partnership that we're a part of. The South Central Indiana Economic Development Group is another partnership that Scott County is an active member in through my representation. Over the past year, we've had a number of outbound trips. This next week, we'll be in Chicago for the International Manufacturing Trade Show. And then last, I don't know if you guys have heard, LEDA is the new economic development arm that has spun out of Mayor Greenberg's office in the city of Louisville. The Louisville Economic Development Authority, it's gotten some news in the past month, a new public-private partnership, but we will be partnering with them September 20th through the 22nd to host 10 national site consultants in market around Bourbon and beyond, and we'll get a day with them in Southern Indiana. The last thing I'll just kind of note is the Metro Manufacturing Alliance. We had our annual summit at the KFC Yum Center May 8th. We've got our Manufacturing Week September 23rd through the 25th. We'll have roughly 800 to 1,000 high school students in the Jeffersonville NOCO Arts District with a number of different employers, including, I believe we've got Genpack and Conco signed up, so they'll be represented. Scottsburg High School was unable to participate this year, but Austin High School is sending a group of students. So having some good engagement in that front. We've also partnered with Scott County Chamber to host, we're calling it, it's a lean manufacturing workshop. That's going to be on October 4th, and we're hosting that at Mid-America Science Park. And the last thing, Chris Waitman, it's been an honor to get to work with Chris over the past month or so. Have had him into our office. He's hosted our team in his. Really have enjoyed getting to know and to work with Chris. We've invited him to join our One Fund Loan Committee, which currently has $52,000 available for Scott County businesses. Chris will join that review loan committee and also help market that to companies here in the area. That loan program is offering an 8.5 interest rate with a cap of up to $30,000. So if you guys know any businesses looking for, typically for non-bankable or gap funding for traditional financing, would love to have them connected with Chris. And then lastly, I know this just because I know that I think there was some interest in some child care data from the county. We have partnered with Ivy Tech about 6 months ago to get a grant from IDA and Duke Energy. We have sent out our own survey that went to kind of a broader county. It's a little more targeted in some potential solutions that we've identified, but that did go to Scott County as well. I checked earlier, we're up to 114 respondents on that, and we will be able to segment that out based on the county. So I've offered to share that data with Chris as well, so you guys will be able to get a peek at that. With that, I'll take a breath and happy to answer any questions. And then, of course, I've also put in your packet there some supplemental information on some of the things I talked about, from that manufacturing workshop to the loan program, and then, of course, our MOU, which is up.
Okay. Well, again, I appreciate you coming and updating us on what kind of, I guess, traffic's been coming through Scott County, because a lot of times we don't know that. And some of these projects looks pretty interesting here for Scott County, with, you know, possible some new jobs, you know, which, again, when we don't get those, I guess, those manufacturers or those businesses coming here, we'd always like to know how or why they chose somewhere else. But I know you guys have always alluded to the fact that they don't ever, they kind of ghost you.
We got some good guesses, but we don't always get the breakup letter.
Yeah. But we would, those are always the things that we'd like to know, so that we can, you know, change what we're doing or create something that is what they're, other majority of the people are looking for. I think the infrastructure, I mean, we've got internet, we've got the water, electric, sewer, and high pressure, gas, so I mean, sometimes it's, I tell people when they look and say, oh, why aren't you bringing more jobs to Scott County? Well, the manufacturers that are here tried to expand and they can't even get people to work, and so we need to be able to have a workforce that, would entertain working for anybody that comes here. So, but those good paying jobs are, they're out there and we'd like to see them here as well, so.
I want to say thanks too for coming, because honestly, for the last 2 years, we've been asking and we just haven't been getting that report back, and you have done a very good job for us, and we do appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's a partnership. I would just say you guys have been very responsive, and like I said, Chris has been great to work with. Greg, I bothered you a number of times, so, the responsiveness is really kind of where it's at. A lot of these things come in hot, and, so it's definitely a partnership. And same thing for you as well, always very helpful.
Try to. Yeah, John, you've been great to work with, and we appreciate, every opportunity that comes down the line. And just so folks know, some things that come out, there could be, possibilities or potential with, just doesn't really fit. And, but, we are always looking for, those right things that do fit and can make a big difference for our county and our folks here. So, and you've been an outstanding partner, and not only in communication, but the events you all put on and educating us through those events, and we appreciate that. And we're blessed now to have Chris on board and to help steer us in the right direction to capture some of these. And I think as we move forward, I know currently we have a location that I think we're going to do more investment in, as far as getting out there and doing things that we need to do, geotech, good survey, any type of wetland mitigation type work, that we have that in hand. We know what kind of wattage we can develop for anybody that needs to come in, and the sanitary capabilities and water needs. So we are going to be more aggressive working and with some type of engineering firm or group to get that put together for us. So we have that, just another tool for you to be able to hand off and say, hey, they're showing ready.
Well, I mentioned Chris, we definitely I would love to stay in sync on that, because there are at times some state resources through IDC for like product development or site readiness opportunities, whether they're matching or dollar for dollar, or just a grant to elevate a site. Same thing is true with some of the utility partners. Sometimes they have some funding that they can award, depending on who this site is served by. So happy to work with Chris and try to mine for some of those opportunities as well.
Yeah, fantastic.
Well, I like the partnership, and I know Chris has a good mind for, reaching out to people, and I know he's sent us several texts before of, hey, this is going on, what do you want in this area, what do you want here, I mean, what are you looking for? So he's not gonna be sitting around, I don't believe, so, and I'm glad that you found him, worthy of committees you guys have, so that actually even works out.
I've told him, and I'll tell you, he's a great compliment, because again, as I say, our team can't be here on the ground every day, so it really is nice to have that kind of extension, and I hope he and you guys see us as a partner, everybody on that page.
Yeah.
If you guys have a business that reaches out, we've got a consultant that can come and meet with them and help assess. So anyway, we've got a lot of services that are really just an extension of Chris and your team.
Yeah, and by the way, you do. You have a fantastic team, and we thank them as well, because I know they're all very strong in their areas.
Well, big things seem to be happening in southern Indiana. Hopefully they're moving farther north from the county south, so that'll be,
optimistic in the coming months. We'll have some.
be interesting, to hear some of those, changes, so.
Yeah.
And I know, again, with, people in Scott County saying, why aren't you bringing this, or why aren't you doing this? it's coming, but I hope that when it does come, people will accept it and have a positive response to it instead of, well, we don't need that, or but we need this, so can't please everybody, but I'd just like to see some, good jobs come, good businesses come, and we're right here on 65 where, thousands of vehicles pass here every day, so, but anyway.
It's competitive, right?
Yep.
And it's-
Yeah, again, they don't come and spend time on the ground for nothing, so
Yeah.
there's some strong signs that we're heading in the right direction.
So this MOU, is it pretty much the same as it's been in the years past?
Yeah, we went through it last year and, broke out the payment to some installments, just to, give you guys some flexibility in case, there was ever a need to go a different direction, but other than that, yeah, no, nothing has changed since last year.
Okay, well, what's your guys, your pleasure, cause I think they're a worthy group and no more than we pay them, I guess, to help us bring in industry and some business and even help the local businesses that are still here. I think it's a good investment myself, so.
Absolutely.
I'll make a motion to redo the contract.
All right, Randy's made a motion to continue the MOU with 17 Indiana Greg.
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so.
Thank you. Continuing partnership.
Jennifer, I think you gotta sign this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Jeremy,
And sign this one, and do you want the original, or do you need to scan it to
You
you?
can just scan it to me if you want, yeah, that'd be
I'll
fine.
just take it inside.
I talked to, Henry at Miller Heating and Air, and they, took a look at what we had going on. And, they did come up with the, mini split was the best idea that they had, and it was the same with, SNL.
Do what now?
I had SNL look at it as well, and they were both under that the mini split was the best way to go.
Okay.
So those are the same quotes we've had from the start.
so the first quote is from SNL, for $4,745, and the second quote is from Miller for $4,791, so. And I think one of the requests we had was for them to tell us what equipment we were purchasing, and one is an LG and the other one is a Bryant.
Who's got the LG?
The LG is
S&L.
SNL.
S&L. And again, both these are the local Scott County vendors, so. As our attorney always tells us, in these situations, we go with the lowest bid if they're comparable.
I think that's the preference. I think if you had some distinguishing factors between why you wanted to know what equipment was specifically being purchased, like whether it was better to have an LG or a Bryant, we could discuss that, but I would say the preference would be for the lowest responsible and responsive offer or it is quotes and it's less than $50,000, so it's typically under your all's rules, how you want to proceed.
I'm gonna entertain a motion to accept the lowest bid.
I'm gonna make a motion to go with SNL for $4,745.
Randy's made a motion, Greg.
I'll second that low bid.
Greg seconds that low bid, and I'll make that unanimous, so.
And do you have this in your budget already?
It's in Eric's budget for the maintenance, really.
Or, sorry.
There's your budget.
All right, you guys want to sign that acceptance of the,
Oh, that's, okay.
no, you're fine. I will get that turned into.
I know it was a pain to keep going back, but,
Truthfully, it was information we needed.
yeah,
So-
I just,
Alright, there you go.
So, no, I understand. All that plays a factor. So thank you all very much and I'll get that turned in tomorrow.
all right, thank you.
Come on, Sleepy.
Pressure's on.
Bob can see supper early tonight. Bob's doctor can see him earlier tonight.
Okay, I got a couple of quotes on the wash bay. I finally found an oil and water separator to work and,
Is this the same one as you was originally looking at?
no,
You was, or?
we've been all across the market on that, but I think we have found one that's gonna be acceptable for the city and acceptable for the county. So we have one bid from Wash Bay Solutions at, $37,120. I had one bid from Al's Oil and Water, like a food down, oil and water separator, 6,500, plus we'd have to source a tank elsewhere. And I have a oil and water separator and a tank for 3,450, so I think I'd like to go with Environmental Redemption Equipment. It's the back page. And those were all across the board because, you know, every state requires some different things, like one of them was stainless steel, double wall, but we had to just meet local requirements, and that one did the trick. We just had to find the right one. We got there.
And this is the one that is 3450.
Yeah. That was the 6,500, but keep in mind the 6,500, yeah, we had to source a tank from S&M, which was another 7,000, or, yeah. Which, that's kind of the one that the Chase likes the best, cause you can drive over it, but it's gonna be right up against the building, so we can set 2 poles in front of it. Won't have to worry about that.
So that'll be pumped into that?
So it'll gravity feed. So we'll put a tank before that because we're gonna use that water back into our brine so we can pump off of it. And then any water that we have just extra that needs to run out, it'll gravity feed into that. Then that'll gravity feed out into the manhole out in front of the building out front. So I think the city's gonna punch the hole through it and then we're responsible to get it to it, hook to it. So now that we have that, we have to pay our connection fees and all that. We're closer. The spreadsheet just kind of shows where we're at with it, because we've been going for a while. Our total remaining budget in that line item is 90,187. And I think the original estimate of where we come in at, we got 70,594, so we're right on target as far as being able to complete everything like we thought.
Good
So
deal.
where we're at.
Good job.
So do you have that budget?
Yeah, we have it. It's just, yeah.
So since there's 3 bids here, I mean, they're all under 50,000.
They're quotes though.
They're quotes, not bids, quotes. So we can just go with the lowest bid, or quote, or the one he prefers, which is still the lowest.
Yeah.
Again, if there was a basis where you said like, you know, this is why we need to go with this particular one, and it was not the lowest bid, I think we would have to justify it and explain, but, if the one that you prefer is the lowest bid, then I don't think that presents an issue.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to allow Kevin to continue with with environmental is it redemption? Yeah.
Redemption.
Redemption equipment. That's not what it says there, but, and the number is $3,450.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes that motion, Greg.
I say,
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous.
My next one is the closed cell installation. I only have one bid. I got 2 contractors coming in the next couple of days, but, so you may not wanna read that out, right, but that just shows you I'd like to probably get that going before the next meeting, so.
Is this the?
That's the only quote I have right now, so I got 2 more coming.
Expandaphone?
It's expandafoam and it's the closed cell, so it's a little higher, but it's in that building, so it'll be moisture resistant. There'll be a lot of moisture in there, so.
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy, I don't know where,
That's a local company.
yes,
I got, both the other ones are out of town.
but you got 2 more.
2 more, yeah, I'm waiting on, they should be there tomorrow. I was hoping to get them today, but I'll kind of touch base with you guys when I get them. So.
I'm just curious, are you building a platform or just have a big ladder or, y'all, how?
I think we're gonna get a roll around with the rails,
Yeah.
go up, and, I think that'll be that. Because we don't wanna clog it up in there, because how we got it set up right now, like right now, if the truck's frozen or whatever in the winter, we pull it in the shop, it floods the whole shop, breaker in the bathroom, floods the whole building. So now we'll be able to pull in and kind of line them up, so I don't wanna clog it with
Sure, yeah.
you know, we just roll the ladder out of the way.
Yeah.
That's planning. Okay, that does that. Small structures, which you've probably seen, Bogart is done. Bloomington Trail is next, and it's September 9th, so we'll get that advertised in the morning. Probably looking at about the same time, 20-21 days probably for a shutdown on that. Pretty much the same structure, same timeline. The next thing is, this kind of jumping the gun just a little bit, but, this is a grant application for the CCMG, and this will be for the 2025 year, but I think we'll start it in December of this year. So, I put match amount money at 375. Last year we was eligible for $1.5 million. That doesn't mean we'll be eligible for that this year, but, I mean, so I think we plan high and then see where it goes. Last year we had everything closed out, so we was eligible for that, and I think we might get it this year. We tight, but we might get there. But we'd still probably be eligible for $1 million if they keep doing everything like they did last year.
Absolutely. So you need us to go ahead and approve this?
I'm not done on them yet, but it looks like we were supposed to, so,
Okay.
yeah, it looks like you guys approve it, and then I'll take it. I wanted to get a jump on it because council will need to say they can fund the match money before there's no sense in applying if we can't fund the match money on it. So that's in our court there, so.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to file this request for a grant application for the highway department. It's an advance, county receives the funds required for a budget then expended. So it starts, actually it starts December the 1st through December the 31st, grant period. For $375,000, and it is a match, so.
And those dates may fluctuate, they haven't announced it, but that should be it.
I'll make a motion.
Randy makes a motion, Greg.
Second.
Greg seconds it, I'll make that unanimous.
The only other question maybe I have for Zach, and it's about this CCNG, is, and so if we have the opportunity to do what they call forced account, which means they're just paying for the material only. If we get bids back and say one bid's, from Jeffersonville and one bid's from Scott County, but this bid's, $100,000 higher, we're $100,000 higher in the county. How does that work? I mean, because that's a big deal on the trucking the asphalt to this county when it's 30, 40 miles away.
Is that built into the response? So like is the hypothetical where the company in Jeffersonville,
So,
prices it like they're gonna have to travel here?
well, we would pick it up at plant. So the county picks it up at the plant. So if we put a
So
bid,
you're saying
if we put a bid out,
more that's not included in the
Yeah.
assessment of the.
If it's material only.
Yeah, cause those unit prices
We-
be a little cheaper, but our
Whether
drive,
your drive,
So we did that the first year I was here, the grant was already applied for, but, a company that over in Charlestown got the bid, which was fine. But it doesn't work when we're 30 miles away from where we're bringing it in
Well, we do
small
that with
trucks,
our-
so.
yearly or annual, like bids for materials, and
Yeah.
I think we try to like accommodate.
And is this for
like,
that grant?
additional costs that are not,
So you're kind of locked in, when you apply for the grant, you're telling them, we'll take the lowest bid. Well, the lowest bid might be good for material, but we're using, a third of that to go get it.
Well, it'll be over the, $250,000 mark,
Yeah.
so,
so.
I know it takes a kind of a different level on bid. It just, I don't wanna bid that on us and we have to do that because that doesn't work. We can account it in and hire trucking in, but then we start eating where you might as well just sub it out because you didn't gain anything. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know the solution there.
I don't know the answer on the top of my head.
That's
I
fine.
would assume that we can account for that in some way, but
And I'll work on it and see if I can figure out some
Am I
different
supposed
ways.
to sign that?
I'm checking.
Yeah, that's
Huh?
for grid inspections.
Oh, I'm not doing it then.
I'll check on that too.
I was just looking at it today and, that's gonna kind of sway which direction I think we ought to go. Yeah. I don't, we can pay for the trucking, but it's the triaxles now are getting $125, $150 an hour. So you start lining them guys up and
It's a big
you
day.
go backwards pretty quick,
well, hang on.
And we cannot put our trucks on the road like we did 3 years, we would have about destroyed them all. You don't have no brakes left, you ain't gonna have an engine left. Not running that hard, up and down the interstate.
When you built the criteria for the bid evaluation, did you put in there like distance?
Well, I haven't built this one, so.
Okay, so I think that if you built that into the bid evaluation, the only requirement is that there be an objective way to evaluate the, there needs to be a way that we can compare apples to apples on, if it's distance, that seems like something that would not be difficult to do, but, what it sounds like is you need to put some form of criteria specified in the invitation that can be used in the bid evaluation. That's objectively measurable, like that the county will, take into account additional, unforeseen costs that could be, borne by the county in like retrieving whatever items we purchase. So I don't think that they expect us to like go to California, right, to get the lowest bid. But I think if you specify something like that in the bid evaluation or the bid criteria, I think that we can consider it the way that.
And the grants are kind of odd where, if they could bid it to a road section, like, if the company bid, we'll deliver the material to the road section for X amount of dollars a ton. But I think if we do, that's a forced to account a little bit of contracts. I don't think that'll work as far as that goes. But that'll work. We'll keep working on that. I got a little bit of time, but if I'm gonna look at those things, I gotta get on it.
I mean, there's a specific section that deals with like adding criteria that will be used aside from only the amount. I think you just have to give everyone like notice that will be part of the evaluation of how the contract is awarded.
Okay.
I think that competitive bidding is intended to, one, ensure that government entities don't, misuse or overuse tax, tax revenue, but it's also intended, I think, to give private businesses a fair shake
Right.
at obtaining a government contract. I don't think it's meant to, like, drain government resources because we have to go to some place that's ultimately gonna cost us double what it's gonna cost us to do it over here. It doesn't show up in the bid. I think you just need to put something in there that talks about, you know, we will evaluate whether the county, what the cost to the county will be relative to transport of material throughout the life of the contract or whatever the language is.
We'll keep working on that and see what. I'll get that to you a little ahead of time if we go that direction. I'll keep y'all kind of posted on what direction we'll go there. Looking at that, I should have the, kind of what we're looking at to you in the next, by October. We got about 4 more small structures, I think, and then we'll look what direction to go on the force account or just a contract. Fair enough.
Sounds good.
Kevin, you're doing good, bud.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you for everything.
All right,
Probably didn't pay the bill, but.
See you, Brian.
Big exit.
Kevin.
You think you're done with 15?
no. That was a wishful thinking.
Alright, 20 minutes.
Okay. All right, the next thing is talking about, the cleaning of Captain English out here and the sealing of that. I actually reached out to a company, and I'm trying to find the company's name here, actually. They're out of Louisville, Kentucky. And, give me 1 second, but the quote they gave me for doing that is $650. If we supply a scaffolding or some sort of lift for them to get up there and do it.
They say how many days?
2 days,
2 days?
yes. So I don't know what a scaffolding, or not a scaffolding, but I don't know if we could rent something from Thomas for a couple of days that, he said if we had the lift type of thing, that not the sizzle lift, cause it actually steps back and they'd be farther away from it, but the one that they will extend out where they can get to it.
Yeah, Thomas has one that's, it's called a toucan, but it raises up and extends out, and it'll pretty much go a 90.
Yeah.
And it has a small footprint, so they could drive right around it. But I'm waiting on a quote back from Jason Vaughn. And I told him at first, because I didn't know, I told him 3 days. But that'd be about what they had to do that, I mean, in and out, it'd be 3 days.
They said if they brought they had to get scaffolding, it'd be $1,600, so, in my opinion, I think we stay local with the lift and, I would hate to think that it'd be more than double what the cleaning would do, so. I'm gonna entertain a motion to, spend the money out of the commissioner's fund, and we've talked about this as long as I've been a commissioner, and we've never been able to either find a company that would do it, that was insured and everything else, that we could, do it, so and we don't know what Thomas's exact quote is, but I'm gonna ask if we could have a motion to not to exceed, like $1,200 or something for the cleaning of the statue and the monument, so.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes that motion, Greg.
I'll say.
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so we try to get that done at 200 year, and it just never happened. A lot of people said they could do it, and then we kind of waffled on it for the fact that I don't think they really knew what the heck they were doing.
So is this thing gonna shine like a new penny?
I've asked him that, but, I'm kinda curious about bronze, cause bronze can be a dark bronze. It may clean it, but it may look exactly the same. Copper, on the other hand, would shine like, the courthouse roof at Madison.
If it's copper, it turns green, right?
Yes, but it's bronze. I mean,
Yeah.
so it could lighten up and shine, and that's what I'm hoping. But either way, it's gonna be clean. He said there's a lot of deterioration on it and stuff, and he said a full, I won't say a restoration, but a full, he said if you did it complete, it's between $3,000 and $5,000 and I would venture to say it gets taken down if that happens and goes away somewhere and comes back, but maybe not, but I don't think at the time we were into the going that way, and he actually didn't recommend that, so I'll get a hold of him and see when he said he could do it in a couple of weeks, and it'd take him 2 days to do it, so.
I'll support you on that.
Sounds good. Alright. Nazarene Church update. If anybody's drove past there, they can see there's a new roof on the church, and water's not running through the center of it, so. And actually, it has made that building look 110% better, I mean, just with a new roof on it. I do have, and it's on my county laptop, but I do have, what we were talking about was a scope of work to get to the, the engineer. So I'll actually send that to you, Randy, so that you can get it to our engineer, so he can write the scope of work, so we can move along down that road as well, so. So have you guys got any comments on the church?
No, just trying to read that work scope and see what, we probably all, read it over and just all make sure we decide that's.
Yep, I agree, it's just a starting point.
I mean, I know we want a level floor in it, we want to probably, we're gonna update the HVAC system in it. And basically the engineer's just gonna write up what we ask, and that way we're approved.
Well,
to
the
do
one
what we
thing,
need to do.
the one thing I would question, and in the scope, I did write like a vinyl type planking floor like we got here or something similar, but also in the main area out there, if we go down to that floor and that floor can be sanded and, sealed, it might be something to keep it, the historical value of it.
It would not be cheaper.
Oh, I'm not saying it's gonna be cheaper.
Right.
I'm not saying it's gonna be cheaper.
Forewarning everybody, because that's very labor intensive.
I'm just saying that if it's in good shape and it's something that we can just
I'd back
sand
that up.
and put some polyurethane on it, I think we keep it original.
I'd back that up, yeah.
So, but we don't know that yet, so. So anyway, I'll get that to you and I'll send it to Greg too, and if you guys got additions, deletions, or whatever suggestions, then we can go from there, but we need to get it to them so we can move this along.
Yeah, so I mean, my thoughts with that is, as soon as, we get the scope of work and let the, engineer look through that and, kind of develop some type of abbreviated report on what we wanna put out, and then I think from there, once we look at that, we'll try to estimate, those items and then just say, this is what we're looking at, and this is kind of our not to exceed limit.
Yeah.
So, what you can do under this amount and meet these kind of scope of services that we need.
I'd kinda like to see this, we couldn't tear down that paneling and put up drywall.
You mean in the main room or in all?
Yeah, where they got that
Well, we talked about,
old board looking paneling thing.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. Yeah, I know that's kinda updating, but I think
well,
honestly, I think it looks awful.
Well, paneling wasn't there in the 1800s.
Right, so I think, you know, I'd like to see us do some drywalling.
I agree.
Yeah.
And some different lighting,
Yeah,
you know, some,
Yes.
so, but anyway, I'll send it to both of you, you guys add your, comments and changes, and we'll get that to him so we can move on. So I'd like to see that done in the next, you know, couple of meetings anyway.
yeah,
We need to
Yeah.
get moving.
I'd like to get that done.
All right, considerations of regular special invoices.
I don't have any special ones, just the regular ones.
Well, I had an opportunity to see what Mandy sent to you, and I'll entertain a motion to accept those.
I'll make that motion.
Randy's made a motion to accept the claims, Greg.
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so. Got that book in here?
It's right there.
All right, while we're doing that, consideration of the payroll for August 23rd, 2024. Everybody had an opportunity to see the payroll. I'll entertain a motion to accept the payroll.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes a motion to accept the payroll for August 23rd, 2024. Greg?
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous. Consideration of the minutes for August 21st, 2024. Everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes as,
Yes,
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes a motion to accept the minutes for August 21st, 2024. Greg?
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, and I'll make that unanimous, so. Mr. Counselor, do you have anything?
I have nothing at this time.
All right.
I do.
Jennifer, do you have anything?
Yeah, dude, you got a thank you
I'll
note
get you that.
from, the Scott Community Foundation for allowing them to be at the last meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, those need to be signed too, yes.
So that was a thank you note from,
Yes, it's right here, I'm sorry,
Jamie?
Jamie.
all right. Received a thank you note from, the Board of Directors and Early Childhood Committee, thanking for our attention to
No,
their meeting, or their, presentation. So, it's Scott County Community Foundation, so appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right, you send those back in there. All right, Randy, you got anything?
I do. Thank you for asking. So, I talked to Chris, I'm sorry, you asked me to call you Chris. Wakeman to, about, I'm sorry, trying to drive up a little bit of tourism here in Scott County and try to help the businesses out in Scott County. I would like for us commissioners to take $1,000 from our commissioner fund to pay out to any of the Scott County citizens that would like to participate in the best scarecrow contest. And how this would work in my mind right now, how this would work is, if you want to participate, you could call in. Chris said they could do this. Call in the Visitors Commission, give them your address. They'll give you a number, participation number, and you would put that on your scarecrow. And then in the month of October comes around, the 1st of October, we can print off the addresses of who's going to be participating and take them around and give them to the businesses. People could go into any of our businesses in Scott County, pick up the addresses, drive around the country, or county, sorry, and on the back of that paper will be a ballot, and you'll get to vote on what, which one was the best, which one was the second, which one was third best scarecrow. So that way we're not, no particular judging system other than the citizens or the tourists that visit Scott County. And, you know, whoever wins would get, $500. Whoever comes in second would get $250, and whoever comes in third would get $150 for participating. But I think it would be a good way to get a little tourism going on in Scott County, and hopefully something that we could continue on, from now on, maybe, somehow or another. You know, I don't know if the commissioners can always pay for it, but maybe businesses can pick it up later or whatever, and, you know, I guess the whole idea here is to try to get that 1-2 punch. If we do the Halloween thing, and then turn it around, I know Chris and them's got the whole lights coming up thing that they wanna do in the future, in December. So just to try to get people to come visit Scott County.
Fred, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's fine. Worth that. Give it a run through, see how it goes.
My only concern, and I think it's a good idea, I mean, first I'm hearing about it, but I mean, and that's fine, but my concern to me is the voting part of it, and if you don't, if you have somebody go out there and go, okay, I'm gonna take 100 ballots, I'm gonna go out here and just start writing, you know, my name down. I don't know how you keep people from, the same people voting 100 times for their property or somebody that they know's property.
Maybe you have a committee vote on it or something more designated.
I mean, you've seen where people stack the ballots, you know, we're in election year right now, you know.
I've heard of that.
You heard of people writing special, you know, paper ballots, you know, phone it in.
Well,
But I don't know exactly how you would do that unless, and maybe you do, maybe you form a committee of 5 people and say, you know what, you guys drive around and you pick the winner. But again,
how do you get,
you don't get that input from the people that you're trying to bring into the community to go to the store and get the list of where they're at.
right?
I'm for it, just, I think you need to figure out a better plan of how you judge it, because, you know, you're talking about $500, somebody will be a little devious, I mean.
Well, and they might, but it's supposed
No,
to
they're
be
gonna
all.
be.
It's gonna be all in good fun, and, you know, I think that sometimes you just gotta take people and say, hey, look, try to be honorable, do the right thing, you know.
I don't have a problem with it, no, but
Yes.
again, I think you need to maybe think a little bit about how you're gonna vote. And
Is this using funds from the commissioner's fund to transfer into the visitors commission?
No, we're just gonna take it, give it to the winner of the contest. And we're taking the money from our,
I
trucking.
I don't know that we can award monetary, amounts to winners of contests. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Out of our, no, I'm not talking about our commissioner budget, I'm talking about our trucking fund.
I don't think it matters which fund it comes out of. Now, I think that the Visitors Commission has the ability to receive public or private funds from any donated source in order to promote and can use those funds for the promotion of tourism.
So we could give it to the Visitors Commission, the Visitors Commission.
And
You could buy trophies.
yeah, I mean, I don't
This
know
one
that
is
you
for the
can.
first, and this is for the second. You could do it that way, size.
You could also maybe like get some, like private partners potentially to participate in a way that would, I don't know, give.
Well, you
them
could
some
do,
advertising? or-
You could do, like, WMPI does a treasure hunt, which is going right now. What they do is they have probably 10 or 15 businesses that probably throw in some money that, and it's $1,000 for the winner
That's kinda what
to do that, and like you're saying, it could be maybe on the same basis that these businesses say, yeah, I want somebody to come into my shop and buy something, or buy coffee, or buy a gift, or whatever, a restaurant, and sit down and have a meal, or whatever, and then they would get to, you know, and they would be able to pull them in by saying, I have the list, you know.
And don't get me wrong, I don't think that there's an issue relative to use of the funds to put on an event itself. It's the use of the funds for, as a cash prize. That part is where I'm getting. And I just don't know the answer to whether or not that is. My gut tells me it's not legal for this, but I don't have anything specific.
So it'd
that
be
says-
like you're thinking it's on the verge of a gambling or a gaming type of thing.
So.
Did you give them a credit card?
No.
Gift card,
Yeah.
I see.
I don't know how a game of chance is specifically defined, but I think certainly like not-for-profits are allowed to put on like raffle events and things, because I believe they're excluded under the games of chance scenario.
I missed something, but so are you saying that we could give it to the Visitors Commission?
I think that you could give it to the Visitors Commission under the theory that the Visitors Commission is able to put on events to fund, and they can receive those funds from public or private sources. And the statute is clear, the source of the funds is not the issue, and I think that the commissioners have the discretion to use that fund to give it to the Visitors Commission to put on an event, which they can then use to, you know, drive tourism. That's not the issue. The $1,000 being put on to hold some kind of event, you know, is not where I'm getting held up. It's that the $1,000 would then be distributed in a raffle-esque type or a voting, even if, I mean, it's not
Contest.
I mean, it's not a game of chance, but
It's a contest.
So long as we were not a part of it and we gave it to the Visitors Commission, they could do it.
I don't think that they.
Well, here's where I go with that, and I don't know if there's ever a monumental or money changing hands or whatever, but like Madison does a Christmas, houses where you go around and you vote for the best house. I don't know if it's just a trophy they get at the end, or just a recognition, or they get actually some sort of cash, you know, value, but.
Can you figure out what the,
Huh?
That's right.
do you know what
This is
the,
sorry.
can you look into what the Madison, is that the Madison Visitors
I
Commission?
think that's just, I don't think it's financial at all.
Okay,
And you might be right, cause I go to it every year, but it's just about,
Prestige, right?
it's, hey, I'm the winner, you know.
is it the Visitors Commission that puts that on in Madison? Like the.
Honestly, I don't know.
I think it is, it's in their building that, that's where you start at and pay your fee, or pay your thing to go do the tour homes is what it is, but I think we need to find out, sounds to me like we need to find out how or if we can do what you're asking.
And we gotta make it quick, cause people's gotta have time to get this, pull this off.
I don't have an issue with, you know, planning an event with the idea that, you know, there could be a cost associated with preparation, planning an event, advertising it, getting people there. But I think the cash prize piece is where I'm getting held up. So,
So Chris, what do you think? I mean, if we gave you $1,000, what do you think we could, I mean, what kind of trophy or, what do you think?
Oh, I don't know, I mean, the trophies.
$1,000 get you.
Bahama trips.
Nice trophy.
I mean, maybe we could send them, you know, on an all expense
Trip to Louisville.
trip to Lexington or something.
Well, we're promoting Scott County, we don't want them going somewhere else.
Maybe Botcher, you know.
Why not just have one Whopping Beach trophy
Um,
and say.
Have a traveling
This is
trophy.
it, it's got your name on it, and this will be the same one next year.
Yeah.
And instead of having, you know, you eliminate the potential problem there with the cash deal there.
I don't know, with me, the reason, the whole point with the cash deal was to really get people into it. You know, but where they would really,
Yeah,
you know,
it's just.
Olivia?
What about local businesses donating instead of cash?
They might, but I'm
And
not
do-
going asking local.
No, I'm just
Well, I
saying, you're
mean-
wanting to keep it local.
I've got a local business that'll pay for all of it.
Well, yeah, but I'm
$1,000.
saying like gift cards from like,
Well, they could
Giant
be
station.
they could be on the
I don't,
the
well, I think that,
headliner, so-and-so's scarecrow contest. That gets us out of the squeeze of being in the gaming business.
I'm just a thought.
Well, I think you're right, I mean, just like WMPI didn't put any money in it, but they had businesses that put up to $1,000, you know, combined.
yeah, I was just trying to do it without having
I
to
get that,
burden the businesses all the time,
I get
you
that.
know? It'd be nice to just try to help them by getting people to come in through their door and not asking to, okay, now give me money for trying to help you out, you know?
Understand that.
Well,
So where we're at? You wanna try to see if, I mean, we're on board with doing it, whether, sounds to me like there's an issue with us being able to fund it. I think it's a great idea, I mean, quite honestly, I mean, it's no different than tour homes, best Christmas tree decorations, best pumpkin, you know, carving, I mean, I think anything to bring people from outside, it's just like we're pushing for the Christmas lights and stuff in this courtyard. Yeah, we're spending money to do it, but hopefully that pays dividends back with people driving to Scott County to watch lights, and hopefully there's some other stuff going on that draws them here, and this year may not be a big deal, but, you know, somebody will talk about it and they'll come again, and
yeah, get a bigger and
I mean,
bigger.
just like in Louisville, I mean, we've tried to go there multiple times and the line's usually so long, we just don't go. This, pumpkin patch thing, and I think it's in Iroquois Park or something, but, you know, it's a 2-hour line to get in to even go do it. I mean, and all they've got is pumpkins sitting on the side of this walking trail all the way through it. I mean, but they're different carved, they're set up different, but it's a big draw, and of course they charge to walk through it. I mean, but, I mean, if we could come up with some ideas like that with, you know, outside of, you know, Christmas or some other stuff, and maybe Christmas needs to be a situation where we've got some other stuff besides the lights. I mean, maybe we're holding some churches come in and sing carols out here on the courtyard someplace. I mean, just something to drag people out of their houses and maybe into the community from outside.
Zach, are you looking into it over there?
Yeah, I'm reading through trade regulations on promotional gifts and contests for the notice requirements relative to whether or not it's considered a gaming chance.
While we're talking about that, I wanna,
Well, I tell you what, let's do it. If we can figure out a way for us to do it, you guys will agree to do it. And if not, then I know somebody who'll put up $1,000.
alright, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and make the announcement that we're gonna get this thing done.
Yeah.
And we'll figure out the money one way or another. It'd be nice if we could do it without,
Well, on one side of what Zach's talking about, I can see is that we're using taxpayers' dollars to have a contest to give
well,
away.
we're not, because we're using our money from our
Yeah,
insured truck.
Everything comes in,
Well, that's
everything,
true, it's
everything that
taxpayers,
comes into this county is taxpayer money.
but it's also going out to taxpayers, anybody wants to participate too.
Anyway, so we're in agreement to do it. So you can get with Chris and figure out how to do all the logistics of it. And I forgot to.
Chris, do you think you guys could run some advertisement for us somehow?
Advertising.
It may be in the, I don't know,
Promotional stuff, certainly.
yeah. On the community channel, I don't know, do they still do community channel? I guess Austin School does. And maybe a radio station.
Well, the radio station is gonna do whatever you ask them to do, and whatever you pay them for, but, that won't be me doing that, that'll be the radio station just doing their normal thing, which,
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about, how to
we can
promote.
put it on our website and get it out that way, we've got that Fall Fun Fest.
You might be able to get it in the paper.
Yeah, I think Olivia will probably help us out there.
Sounds good. I'm gonna ask for a motion to amend the agenda to add something to it, so.
I'll make a motion to allow Mike to amend the agenda.
Yeah.
Depends what it is. Okay.
It's about a mower.
Okay. I'll say.
I was like, I don't know what you're gonna say, man.
Yeah, well.
I'll say.
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so, it's been brought to our attention that our mower that we have for the cemetery and, needs to be replaced. I thought we did it years ago. Greg, or Randy thinks we did it years ago, and I'll be honest, I didn't go back to the minutes to look and see if we did,
Never actually happened.
but I think we did. I think you, and John voted to buy a rear discharge mower, and I think we even had a price, but we need to buy a mower. I mean, this guy doesn't have a mower, and I've got a phone call yesterday, I got a phone call today about a cemetery, and they're wanting to know why it's not mowed. I called the guy that's mowing, and he said, I mow it twice, I mow it every other week. He goes, I did notice that when I went one week, I could tell somebody else had mowed it too. But we need to get him a mower, and we might get a deal now since it's towards the end of the mowing season. And I'm gonna ask you, if we have a mowing or a business in town that sells mowers, or in the county that sells mowers, can we just buy one from them since they are local, and it's gonna be less than 12 probably? You think?
It's less than $50,000.
It'd be less,
less.
yeah, it'll be around 15 or less.
Statute allows you
Probably
to
13.
adopt your own purchasing methods and preferences. I think that our normal threshold is $10,000 for like getting quotes and things. In this circumstance, if you're saying that you're out of mower and you need a mower to complete a service, if you wanted to go around town and look at some different prices, I don't see any issue with it.
Okay. So you're thinking 15 probably?
I think 13, I was just saying 15 to be safe.
Can we say not to exceed? So
Not to exceed 15.
I'll entertain a motion to buy a zero-turn mower with a rear discharge.
Does this come out of what fund?
It's gonna come out of the commissioner's fund,
Okay.
because we're the ones that pay for the,
We have the,
actually, we have a budgeted line item for the cemeteries, do we not?
Yeah, I think you do.
do we have enough funds in the line
We
item?
probably don't.
Thinking there's like 20 in there.
You think?
I'm thinking that. I looked at it the other day. We can go in here and check in a
So
few minutes,
let's-
but I'm thinking that.
Let's do it, if it comes out of that line item, an amount not to exceed contingent on
Funds being.
sufficient appropriation,
Good with that.
either via normal budgeting procedures or, if we have to go seek an additional.
Mine's a side discharge, 60-inch cut,
He wants a 54.
Skaggs, and 37 horsepower, and I bought it 3 years ago, and it was 12.4.
He wants a 54 inch
Yeah.
rear discharge.
It won't be that much cheaper just being
Yeah.
but, so that's why I'm saying 3 years later, it could be, I'm trying to be honest with you,
Let's just
I'd say 15 just to cover your bases. I think it'll
not
come
to
in less
exceed
than that.
15.
I think it'll come in less than that.
So let's make this motion that says that we're gonna buy a rear discharge 54 inch zero turn mower not to exceed $15,000. And that it will first try to take the fund out of the commissioner's budget, which is for cemetery mowing. And if it doesn't go, if we don't have the funds there, that it comes out of the commissioner's fund. And I don't know if we have the funds there either. so.
We don't, we have 13 something,
I
right?
think 13, yeah.
So anyway, one way or the other, we're gonna buy it, so, or we'll take some from one and take
We'll
some from
figure
the
it
other or whatever, but, alright,
Do they not have some, they have some money in their budget, right?
who's they?
The mowing thing.
That's what,
No, not, the commissioner's side does, but
We-
the other is very small.
the cemetery mowing fund is on the commissioner's, out of the commissioner's budget.
But I thought they had some money kind of put to the side for them.
It is, it's in a budget. They have a
That
line
is not-
item, they have, in our budget, they have a line item for
Right.
cemetery mowing.
There's two different ones, but the one probably doesn't have, say, 3,000 in it, maybe.
Okay.
It's not much at all.
We'll research that, so we
I was
know.
gonna say, if you want, we can come in here and look real quick. It won't take but a few minutes to pull that out.
Alright, nobody else got anything on, or, go ahead.
One thing, I'm just gonna make a statement, this is not, because we don't know a whole lot. I've had some people reach out and comment and, talk about, some of the illegal immigration stuff that's kind
I saw
of, the
that.
immigrants that's, I guess, that's been around and living. I just want people to understand that we don't, at this point, we don't have anything to do with that.
Thanks for bringing that up.
We don't know about it, we find out about it like everybody else does. And so, just for folks out there, I mean, to know, I mean, it's certainly nothing that I support, but it is something, we don't have like really any control over that. It's not been brought to us to, for any movement, to vote on or to enforce, or we don't have any of that.
We don't have any authority really much in the city, period.
That's right, and so I just want everybody to know that from a county standpoint, we don't really, we're finding out as much as what people out there in the public are hearing. And so we don't really have anything to act on, when it comes to that. But I want people to know, I mean, from my standpoint, I don't support it. I was telling this, earlier, that it has to be, at some point, it comes from the top down. So, I mean, the federal government would do their job, that helps the communities, that they're putting a lot of, unnecessary burden on. I just want folks to know that we don't have any involvement in this, at this time and point in it. So,
What I heard is there is a local, I don't even know if it's considered a hotel anymore. There's a place, there's a place that is housing people that are migrant workers that are working some farms. So, but anyway, I don't really care. I don't support it either. I mean, if you're here legally, that's fine. If you're here illegally, then you're not,
So
so.
that's really,
And then I've also
that's
heard.
really the
this-
baseline of it, really, I mean, you know.
So. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Randy makes a motion to adjourn, Greg.
I'll second.
Greg seconds that, I'll make that unanimous, so. Kill the bird.